Absolutely, and we back. We back. Date night, online, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. We all over the place. We all over the place. We back at it with another Marq's top 10. Top 10. Marq's top 10. But before we do that, I do have some special guests out here tonight. I have two young ladies, and a third will be joining. We're going to talk about love bombing. You know, what love bombing looks like. What is it? And how to avoid it, right? So I brought some young ladies in who I think may have some very, very strong opinions about it. And the funny thing about it is what I'm learning about this particular topic. A lot of people don't really understand what love bombing is, right? Something that I think that is common, I found is very uncommon. So we're gonna actually, everybody's been through it at some points, but I'm gonna let you know what it is. You've been through what it looks like and how to avoid it. Okay, that's what we're gonna do tonight. All right. So before I start, again, I always like to say this: this is not a podcast, right? It's not a podcast. It is not a it's a platform, right? And so this platform is typically made up of, just the everyday person. The two young ladies I have is an example. Everyday person, no one's a dating coach, philosopher, or wherever else, some of the other podcasts may present. But hey, check it out. We're not knocking it, but we just do things different here. So, also, quick announcement. Couple announcements, and anybody that's in this chat right now, please hit the like button, share it, do something. All right, do something. Like button, comment. Let's get it going. Right. March. Well, what month is this? April. Okay, it is April. So April. We're gonna keep driving the videos. We're gonna keep driving the different types of shows. I do have one on Tuesday. One of the actual shows I have on Tuesday. And I'm working on this title, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm working on this title, but I'm gonna have some real dudes in here, right? Or as some people say, some real niggas. And what I mean by niggas, Nigga, never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. Those types of niggas, never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. That's an old Tupac. One of the things that he used those acronyms for. So we're gonna have that type of conversation. We're gonna have it's gonna be about 4, maybe 5 of us in there, right? And they're gonna be similar to me as far as the type of guy that's gonna speak their piece. Gonna be really, really on point with some things. Some things you're gonna like. What's going on, Miss Singleton? What's going on, Miss Nicole? Everybody else in there, Keisha Nicole, and we got Miss Singleton in the house as well. All right. So, like I was saying before, I'm gonna have some real guys that's gonna come in here. They're gonna tell you like it is, and we're gonna have a good time. Okay. No one's gonna be, it's gonna be straight talk, right? That's why I call it nigga talk. Nigga, never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. That's the type of conversation we're gonna have on Tuesday. So it's gonna be Tuesday 8:30. Now, with that being said, right? With that being said, let's go ahead and get everybody who's going to participate in Marq's top 10. Again, remember, this is Marq's top 10. If you don't like my top 10, guess what? Make your own top 10. Okay, make your own top 10s. Email it to me. I might even put it out. All right. So, but before we start that, let me go ahead and just start bringing everybody in real quick. I see somebody in here. I'm gonna bring them on last because it looks like they're trying to get everything set up in the background. I see them back there. We're gonna talk about that in a second. All right. So first person we're gonna have is, guess what? I'm gonna bring her on first. Miss LaDonna. What's going on? All right. What's going on, LaDonna?
Hey, happy
You all right?
Wednesday. I'm great. How are you?
Okay, I'm doing well. Okay, so tell everybody your name, what you got going on, and then we're gonna bring the next person up.
Okay, that's dope. Thank you. My name is LaDonna. I am the founder of Smart Love. I host Smart Love Sundays, and I'm started Smart Love special edition on Thursdays with the fellas. Check us out tomorrow. We will be discussing the war on Black love. from the men's perspective. I'm really excited about this conversation. Then Sunday, we're going to bring the ladies on and we're going to talk from the female perspective. So, yeah, we just trying to, bring the Black families back together. That's our mission. That's our goal. That's all.
Right. So again, tune in tomorrow around what time tomorrow?
8:30.
8:30 tomorrow. Um, I'll have the links and everything up. I'll do it from mine. I'll do it from Smart down to everybody. It'll be all over the place. Share this one too because there's going to be some guys on there tomorrow. And again, so the guys, girls, and then all together. And we're talking solution based. This will not be. This will be accountability. We're going to show what accountability looks like. How about that? We're going to show what accountability looks like. We always say what accountability is. Guess what? We're going to show you what it is on starting tomorrow. And then the women are going to show what accountability is. And guess what? We come together. Guess what? Everybody's going to see what accountability looks like and what the results are going to be when it comes to that. So
exactly. We're walking away with solutions. We're not
with
just
solutions, not the problems. We already know the problem. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So speaking of problems, I have a problem here right now I'm getting ready to bring up. By the name of Wendy Torres. What's up? What's up, Wendy? You're a good problem, Wendy. You're a good problem. You're a good problem, okay? And it's okay, right? So go ahead and tell them a little bit about yourself, what you got going, so I can bring the next young lady up.
So hi, everyone. My name is Wendy Torres. I'm a book author. I have spent 20 some odd years in the business of helping people, mentoring young adults, and just loving on people. I am a former podcaster, but as Mark said, this is not a podcast, and I am not a relationship person at all. I've just been through a couple. Been married twice, so I know a little thing about relationships.
Right. Again, this is an example of what I say about my particular platform. You don't have to be anything special but yourself. And even if you think you ain't nothing, you can bring something to the table that we all can learn from, right? Ain't nobody the expert. We all feed on each other, right? Real quick story. Real quick. I've been unknowingly Wendy Torres for 30-something years. We went to the same high school, right? She was a couple years older than me, so I was really good friends with some of her classmates, so I did know of Wendy Torres. And it's funny how life works. We circle back around, and we're currently at the same gym, and and so here we go again. Now we're on date night. So what? So okay. So I'm 13. So it's 49. So okay, yeah. So you're talking about over 35 years. I don't even feel like doing the math, right? All right. So guess what? So I got the first. This is Wendy's first time. This is Wendy's first time too. Okay, that's right. Wendy has been in the chat, right? She's definitely one of the chat queens, right? The date night chat queens. That's my new name for all the ladies out there. Dudes, y'all come with your own stuff. I ain't naming y'all no nicks. All right. So, but it's gonna be, but it's definitely gonna be date night chat queens. All right, date night chat queens. She's one of them. Right, she's one of them. Okay, so now I got another queen coming up. She's new, and I wish upon a star. What's going on, Star?
Joyous Wednesday to everybody. My name's Star, founder of Halo Studio Incorporated, beauty enhancement studio, just helping people get to their best self. Bringing back confidence sometimes after something traumatic, or just want to be beautiful every day. So that's what I do here in Atlanta, Georgia. And thank you for having me on. I'm no expert, like Miss Wendy said, but we've been around the block a few times, having fun, and we got a lot of great input, a lot of good feedback, and I'm just ready to talk with y'all and see where everybody's at.
Right. This is a loose conversation. Opinions are things to. Look, here's the thing. I'm gonna say this real quick. Well, before I do that, let me ask you something. Star, how long you been doing what you've been doing?
Halo is 9 years old now.
Okay, and so tell us just slightly more about Halo. What exactly is Halo?
Halo is a beauty enhancement studio serving both men and women. So we offer a lot of the upscale luxury services. Customized skincare, body waxing. Permanent and semi-permanent cosmetic tattooing, eyelash extensions, and then we got a few private selections for the fellas. that we'll talk about one day because I think
Okay.
it'll be great.
Yeah, I'll bring you
This
up.
is a great platform. LaDonna and I talk about it all the time, so it's a great platform to introduce it on.
Okay, great. So guess what?
My eyebrows and my lashes.
So before you go on your date night, make sure you put your halo on. Okay, go stop by and get your stuff. Get yourself straight, right?
That's right.
All right.
That's
So
right.
look, check it. So look. All right. So does anybody raise of hand? We're gonna raise our hands out of the 3 days. Does anybody know what love bombing is? The definition. Okay, Wendy Torres. Okay, great. All right, this is great. All right. So, Donna, what is the Star, what is the definition of love bombing?
So
Your
love
definition.
bombing is really new to me, being totally
Okay.
transparent, really new to me. It actually was a topic of conversation today between me and a few ladies, LaDonna being one of them. And so love bombing is when, a person comes into your life and they just lay it on heavy, right? They make you feel loved. They hit all the right spots and they make you feel good, upside, inside, and out. And then they just drop you like a bad habit.
So Donna, what is your definition? If it's similar, that's fine. But what is your also? Because reason why I say this is because we can always use one word, but so many different people can look at it so differently, right? It still can be the same. Is my point, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, what was your definition, and when did you hear about this?
So I've experienced it, and the reason why I know this term is because I've used it to describe several relationships. So to me, very similar to what Star described, is someone comes in, lays it on heavy. Typically, they're doing this because they're trying to speed up the process. I found that maybe they don't want you to uncover who they really are, or maybe by the time that you do, you're already so deep into it. It's like, the true representative shows up, right? And it's like, well,
Okay.
they love bombed you, and then all those things that they were doing in the beginning start to fall off, and you start to see the real person. So
Okay, so those two things there's a little bit of a difference that I heard there.
Right.
Okay.
Right. That's my point.
That's why
That's why I did that, right? They always used to say this thing is more than one way to skin a cat, right? So even with that, even with different how people interpret things from their own perspectives, there's so many ways to try to understand one thing. So it's never just one thing, right? That's important to understand that, right? All right. So look, here's the true definition, right? Okay. So let me do this for a second. Boom, because I'm gonna do this.
Okay,
can y'all see that?
Yeah.
I was just about to say that, Wendy, I don't have my glasses on, so you need to read this.
She got her ears on, so but what about that? Look at that. That's good enough for you? Bam.
You're
still
still
see
gonna
that?
read it, all right?
Yeah, can you read? Yeah, I'm gonna read it, but can you read that?
Yes, I
Wendy, can you see
Thank
that? All right, thank you. All right, so love bombing, verb, with the intention or affection, especially in order to influence or manipulate them. In the instance of lavishing someone with attention of affection, especially in order to influence or manipulate them. The intensity created by the love bomb makes it hard for the victim to notice they're being manipulated. Right. So that's like what the definition would be from the two stances.
A little bit.
Right.
I'm dealing with a person that's a narcissist. I got it.
Right. Actually, that is actually
They're known for this.
Together. So
Right. So because when I read the article, it did mention, which I'm glad you said it, because I'm gonna actually show that too. It says something about a narcissist in there. So that, yes, absolutely. But guess what? Let's get to what we came here for, right? Marq's top 10. Look, so like I always say, I'm gonna look in your eyes when I say this. This is Marq's top 10, right? This is no particular order. How do I come up with this? It's simple. What I do is I come up with a topic. I say, all right, let me get articles, different points of views, different quotes. Some may be similar, some are most gonna be unique. Things you never really thought about, aha moments, right? So that's how I came about, and I put my top 10. Now, if you got a top 10, send it to me. I might show it, but this is mine. All right. So here's what I did first, right? Marq's top 10. So here's what I did first. I'm gonna also give you what. Hold on for a second. Let me do this. Let me do something real quick.
I'm so used to being in the comments. I'm wanting to like the comments.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on for a second, y'all. This thing, that slide is tripping. Hold on 1 second. But let me ask you something. Have anyone ever felt like they've been love bump outside of Donna? Because she mentioned it. Looking at the definition.
Now that I have a full, complete definition, absolutely, yes, absolutely.
Hold on for a second, y'all, because this slide right here, want to cut up, and I usually never have problems with this. But tonight, somebody love bombing my show tonight. But well, look, guess what? Let's look at some of these right here. Boom, they mirror everything you are. That's somebody's definition of that. All right, hold on for a second, and then, all right, so let's do this. Give me like 1 second. But look, in the meantime, in between time, so what's the definition of a narcissist? I've heard that because that's one of the words people throw around, right? Would you agree? Is that another word, right? So each one of y'all kind of tell me what the definition of a narcissist is, because I really don't know. I hear it so much. What is that?
So
Donna?
I would ask Star, because Star has actually had someone that was actually diagnosed as a narcissist, whereas I've given self-diagnosis of people as narcissists. So maybe Star, you could tell us.
So
the definition.
I was married to a narcissist.
Okay.
Narcissistic personality disorder, I guess, is what they call it clinically. And I didn't recognize it until it was all over. But typically, narcissists will, look past you. It's all about them. Nothing you do is right. You're always wrong. They're always right. They typically can portray themselves in the view of the public as one person, but behind closed doors, they're another person. So their behaviors, their actions, like their words, everything is pretty manipulative, similar to that of love bombing. But the narcissistic behavior, it just basically excludes them from any wrongdoing. And it puts you under them no matter what.
Gotcha.
They can be extremely like verbally abusive, very dismissive of your feelings, that type of behavior. And like you said earlier, it's one of those words that people just throw around loosely, but from my understanding, that's really what it is.
And narcissistic behavior, like the person, they can't take accountability. Right. So if something comes up and they've done something wrong, they're very cunning and very intelligent. They know how to shift the narrative so that you feel like you're responsible and you did something wrong when they were the ones in the wrong. Like they spin off and the lights are off. Then you got to tell them to pay the bill, or, things of that nature. They never take accountability. And if something comes up where it's glaring that something is their responsibility, they will just completely shut down. Another thing is that whatever your trigger is, if your trigger is touch, then they will not touch you. If your trigger is communication, then they will withdraw themselves.
Oh, damn. So they're almost trying to take you away from who you are.
Yes.
Would you say that? Okay. So look, I'm gonna pull the top 10 up, but I got to address this right here, and I'm glad somebody put this in the comments. A person can be very direct. What's up, Kevin? A person can be very direct from the gate. Why are we so analytical of the very thing we desire? Has it ever occurred that some folks are so damaged they can't perceive someone actually treated them good? The term love bombing is an excuse to stay guarded. What do y'all think about that?
So Kevin, you out here love bombing people, and and then not appreciating it. But you know what? I would say, I think what makes it bad is the intention, right? So if this is just who you are and you can continue this, then I wouldn't consider it love bombing. If this is just who you are and what you want to do in this relationship. But if it's a manipulative intentions,
right,
then
That's
that's when it's considered
right.
love
And
bombing.
remember the definition. In the definition, it said that you did those things in the beginning to try to shift the narrative, right? It talked about, I'm trying to remember, like it talked about the fact that, oh God,
It said control, Wendy,
yeah, like
control.
trying to control the situation
Mm,
or to
Yeah.
manipulate the person. So it's one thing for you to be loving. I absolutely want you to be loving, but
right.
when lovingness comes with all of these other conditions down the line, which that's what my scenario happened, then that's not healthy,
Yep,
right?
there you
Mm,
go.
right.
We're
Right.
talking healthy people right now. We're not going
Right.
with that one, Kevin. Sorry.
Right, right, and then too, I'm glad you said that because I definitely wanted to, because I thought about that when I was doing that, and but for what I gathered from it, it usually typically happens in the beginning and it happens in soon, like it's rushed, right? Like you're trying to get somewhere, like you know what I mean? Like what do you know? We just met each other, so look, so check this out. So here's a case of that. Boom. Here are some common examples of love bombing. These are quotes. You're my soulmate. I'm talking about, I just met you like 2 days ago, right? And again, these may be flags, right? These may be flags, meaning that something to pay attention to really bad, right? That doesn't mean always kind of cancel a person out. But again, if it's done over and over again and some of these terms are used, guess what? Then you may want to keep your antennas up. How about that? Right? So words like, you're my soulmate. You're the perfect man and woman. We're soulmates. You complete me. I've never met anyone like you. I will never meet anyone like you again. Right?
Yeah.
Those are some quotes that you hear off the rip. You're like, man, hold on, bro. We just went out one time.
Right. I was
Yeah.
gonna say
Where
Hey.
you coming from? Where you coming
I've
from
had
with
so
these?
many. I've had so many love bomb proposals. I would be married 10 times by now. I would wife 10 times over.
Right,
That's
right. Uh-huh. Right, right. So okay, so I had to put that out there to give y'all some key. These are some key things you can kind of listen to, especially in the beginning. So this is about learning now. And look, listen, I like the brothers. You can be love bombed too. There's a couple things that may qualify, but let's be honest, it's mostly us, right? I'm gonna just be straight up, right? It's usually us. And if you have to use something just to get a woman, man, you might just need to go up and just tighten your woman skills up a little bit better. All right, that's all. I'm just being honest, right? All right, so I'm gonna say this right. Okay, so here's number one. Again, this is no particular order, but here's the number one. Boom. They want to know everything about you right away. Right? That's a sign. They want to know everything with you right away. Right then and there. Right? Just
Yeah.
what you
Right.
think about this, Star? What you think about this, Star?
You know, if someone in my mind, if you know, I just met you, you know, we exchanged numbers, you know, first few conversations, maybe a date or two, and you are already like, oh, you so perfect, you so beautiful, I'll never meet anybody like you, and all that. My antennas is gonna go up. My spidey senses is going crazy at that point because I'm like, what is this brother on? What do he want from me? You know, so that I mean, it's just gonna raise a red flag for me, and automatically I'm going to ask a few questions, not like he's on the interrogation seat, but I'm going to have some questions.
Right, right. Wendy, what you
Yeah.
think about
I'm not flattered.
that?
I'm not flattered by that.
I'm
That's
not
a red flag for me.
Right. I don't believe
Wendy,
me.
what you think about that? They want to know everything about you right away.
Yeah, like slow down. You know what I mean? We got some time.
Right.
we live in the day of scammers right now. Like, I just met you. What are you trying to, like? You trying to get to know everything about me? What you trying to take? Like I need for you to just calm down.
Pump your brakes.
Like, pump the brakes. I'm not going to give you my life story in the first date.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if I like you yet.
Right. Down your thoughts on that. That first
Yeah,
one.
I think that information gathering from their side is to be able to know how to love bomb you even further, right? So they're trying to figure out what you like. What are some of your past relationship issues, so they could try to be the opposite. They might be trying to figure out, like, your financial situation, So I just feel like all that information up front is really to be used against you in the near future.
In the near future, right. Yeah, absolutely. It's like, for me, I understand. That more so would probably happen from the flip, right? From men to woman, right? That would probably happen the most because women are. I'm just anytime you meet a woman, my mind, her guard, especially if she's been in the dating scene for a while, her guard is going to be up anyway, right? So I would think that most women aren't going to. They want to prove to you if it's safe, right? Rather than she coming at you like that. She's going to sit back for a while, right? Yeah. I saw something else that I wanted to kind of this dude right here. Look, check this out. Take my man out right here. I might have been bombed a few ladies in my past.
I might have love.
We're gonna call.
Okay, but what was your intention?
Right. Okay, so let's go to the next one, though. Let's go to the next one. Boom, number 2. They want consistent validation. It's almost like you got to put a show on for them. Like, what do you think about that, Donna? They want constant validation.
Validation. Yeah, so that's them, constantly needing to feel that they're appreciated for all these things that they're doing right in order to keep it going. So I think that's a great sign. Like if he's constantly like, you like this? You okay? You want? Yeah.
Why they gotta sound like that though? Why they gotta sound like that? I hope they don't sound like that. You got the wrong dude.
You okay, baby? You want something? You need something like this? Yeah.
Wendy, what's your thoughts on that, Wendy?
How can I my job is not to validate you in the beginning, right? You need to come to me having some self-worth. If my job is to puff you up, if you're looking for me to hold you up in the beginning, you have a problem. Like you're not ready to be in the dating game if you're not already in a place where you know who you are, because I'm trying to see what you bring to the table. You're trying to see what I bring to the table, and you constantly need me to tell you that who you are is okay. That it's called better help.
Better help. Star, you want to touch that for a minute?
I do want to touch it because going back to the definition, it mentioned all of the affection and attention in order to manipulate. So it sounds like these people who are love bombing, they're master manipulators. And in sales, when you need constant validation, that's what you said, like they need constant validation. It makes me think of, in sales, we talk about getting people on a yes ladder. You keep asking them questions. You like that, right? It's good, right? That's a nice car for the right price, right? And they get you shaking their head and they shaking their head with you. So that man who needs constant validation is basically you convincing him and yourself at the same time. Does that make sense? Am I saying
no? You made plenty of sense. You made plenty of sense on that.
He wants you to keep reminding him, I love what you're doing. Thank you so much. You the great, the best. I ain't never had nobody like you. So it's almost like you brainwashing yourself with his help.
Right. But you know what? And me being in sales for over 20 some odd years, since I was 22.
So you know about the yes ladder.
Yeah, I do. That's when you do it's like mirror your customer, right? And then give them the buy-in and use certain like techniques to get them to buy in. Next thing you know, they done bought. You know what I mean? Yeah. So look, check this out. This is what I decided to do. I decided to give you that particular article where they particularly said about that validation thing. I'm gonna read it too anyway. So I say they want constant validation. You feel like you're always reassuring a love bomber. No matter how much you compliment them, it's never enough. They keep coming back for more, and you may experience relationship burnout. This constant reassurance of their worth and greatness covers their insecure, fragile self-esteem. As a result, they rely on you to affirm them. That's deep.
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. To me, if you need constant validation from me, you're insecure.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Validating to your partner, right? That's that is a part of relationships, but not out of the gate and not
Right.
when I first meet you,
Right.
right? I,
Mm-hmm.
you absolutely need people that you have relationships with that are affirming to you, but
Right.
that's the job every single day, all the time. We don't do that with our children. We don't do that with our friendships. It's a no.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Okay. So it said this is directly towards Star. I had to read this. Star, that type of person has an ego problem, mentally weak, and definitely lacking confidence.
Absolutely.
Right. 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 All right, so that was a good explanation. That was a good explanation from that article, though. But let's go to the next one. Saying all the right things. That's the one that is common, but people still fall for it. Right. People still fall for it. Saying all the right things. Right. Always hitting them points. Right. But look, even with these last three, well, especially this one, I'm gonna say this. This one is, and even the whole love bombing thing. I think the most effective time it can really happen to a man or a woman is when they're at their lowest state. Right? They're at their lowest state, a bad breakup, a loss or something. You see what I'm saying? So because there's a method of actually, even with still selling, even like from a pimp to a prostitute, right? I'm using that example because he's able to manipulate her to do things at her lower state, right? It's hard to kind of manipulate a woman that's, or have any type of effect on a woman that's on her shit, right?
Yeah.
That's confident and everything else. So once you're at your lower state, these things kick in, and it opens up for the love bombing to be effective.
Exactly.
So that's why it's important, and I say this so many times. That's why it's important to come out of a relationship, get yourself together for a moment, get yourself back, because what looks good may not be good. Let's be honest for you. And I understand get under to get over is what is a lot of methods that men and women use to get under to get over. Right? What you think about that, Wendy? What you think about that part?
So
Saying
I
all the right things.
yes, I mean, like, okay, I definitely, like, that's exactly what that my love bombing situation was. Like, this
Okay.
person came in, like, I want you to look, I want you to look straight ahead, Mark. Don't laugh, don't fall out of your chair. This person came in, like, I mean, I couldn't even put my equipment down. They bringing my, I got your bag, meet me at my car, bringing my stuff into the gym, lay my stuff out for me. I'm looking like this crazy coming into my training, baby. Do you need anything? I'm like, what? I mean, just all over. Just it was just so much in the beginning.
Right.
Everything, and, and I hadn't had that. Look, don't laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Don't laugh. And I had come out of a marriage that was completely unaffectionate. So I hadn't had that before. Right. So I'm not even gonna lie. I took it hook, line, and sinker. I was like, oh, this is what a good man is. It
Right.
was
So,
absolutely for the
so
old.
let me ask you a question. When that happened, were you? How long was your last relationship before that happened? Was it fresh? Was it years ago? Like what made? Okay, looking back, why do you think you fell hook, line, and sinker? Where were you at that time when that happened in your
So
mind?
so I was probably about 6 months removed from being in some very, very toxic relationships. You know, I had been divorced maybe for like 2 years. But I had been in a relationship. You know this because my book was about it, where I was a side chick. Like, I was in a
Mm-hmm.
relationship I shouldn't have been in. So I was about 6 months removed from that. And so this was, a quality person, good head on their shoulders, somebody that I thought I had a lot in common with, and they laid it on extremely thick in the beginning. And I didn't know that type of affection and that type of care.
And then
Um,
he can say, so he pretty much can say all the right things.
all he said, all thing,
Right.
all
Star? Go ahead. I got you.
So
I got you,
I
Star.
have a
Go ahead.
question for Wendy. So going back to number one, where they want to know everything about you, did you divulge that information about recently divorced? It was a little toxic, like to
yes,
him.
We had all those conversations, and because we were in the same circles, he knew a lot of things about me as well.
Gather the information.
They gathered the information, and like LaDonna said, then you tell him everything, and it's like, ooh, you're prey. He knows you're in a vulnerable state, so he's gonna lay it on heavy, and then I guess you're more prone to fall for it.
It's in front of the people too, laid it on extremely. Like, what the heck is happening? Marq just look straight, don't say anything.
I said that.
But you know what else is crazy? So, like, number one, definitely as women, we need to be more careful about what we're divulging early in a relationship. Really, that time is for us to listen and gather. Like, don't spill let all your vulnerabilities lay out on the table when you're just getting to know a man. That's that's woman to woman.
Right.
But what's crazy is that these dudes are becoming so slick in this dating world. Like, they know what women want to hear. Like, I don't know if they read the same books that we read. They listen to the same podcasts, but they have learned the script of what, especially Black women, what we need to hear in order to get in there.
So my question when that is always said, whose fault is it? Is it the fault of the man that's doing it, or the person that's not in a good space to try to even receive what we're getting, right? Because we jump into situations before we should, right? Even though, listen, there's nothing. I'm just gonna be honest, because I do understand the intuition and everything that women bring, right? But I don't believe none of this stuff would work if you own your shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the fault in that situation, especially in the fact that my girlfriends, like, where some people were like, oh my God, he's XYZ. My real girlfriends, they call BS off the rip. They were like,
yeah.
Right. So
yeah, I mean, you just gotta pay attention, because it's not every man that's saying these things is doing it to manipulate you, right? So it's like you have to judge the person by their actions as well. So just because they're saying all the right things, and like this is leading up to, okay, like, you're definitely a love bomber, narcissist, or whatever. But each one of these things by themselves does not necessarily make that person, make it be a love bomb situation. So like the whole point of data, like, we're collecting data, like, that should just bring up one of your antennas. Like, okay, all this sounds great.
This is antenna stuff, flags. Everybody want to use the word flags. Okay, guess what? We're saying this may not be the case, but this is a flag for something to put your antennas up to make sure it all lines up at a certain point. That's what we're saying.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, throw a monkey wrench in there quickly.
And women can say all the right things too. This is not just...
No. I said, okay, you know what? For those that were late to church, like I said before, this is unisex, right? Some of these things will apply to men as much as women too as well. All right, those in the back of the class and late to church, pay your tithes later. And look, pay your tithes by actually liking. At least hit the like button. If wherever you watch it, hit the like, share, comment, cuss me out, do whatever you want to do. Just don't sit there and do nothing. All right, so look.
What is Kevin saying?
I've got Kevin in a minute. So, but here's what we need to be saying, all the right things right here, right? So, no matter what, love bombers always know how to make you feel better. They seem to read you so well. At first, this behavior may seem like a rare gift, and you might feel incredibly grateful. However, it may seem hollow and disingenuous over time. Love bombers pay very close attention to other people. They often skilled in charm and social intelligence, so they know how to feign closeness. Real love isn't perfect. The love bombers aim to behave perfectly, even when it's entirely unrealistic. All right. Just want to run that one down. Boom. All right, let's go to number 4. Boom. Ignoring your boundaries. So real quick, and I want to hear one of you ladies on this. So I just want to preface this by saying, These are also action and word things. Action and word. So this would be more of an action, right? Because when we think love bomb, we think language, right? But it's also have to be action, right? So the boundary thing would be the action. So Star, have you ever had someone that you set boundaries, but they felt like they needed to cross those boundaries before?
No.
Has any woman in this room has ever tried to set a boundary, whether it be time, well, it could be like, during this time I have to work this right here, and they just constantly call you in anything. Boundaries is not always like space. Go ahead, Star.
I take it back. Yes.
That's why I
yes.
had to jot the memory.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Star.
So, being an entrepreneur, I drop my 9 to 5 for 24/7. So, if you date me, I'm upfront. Like, listen, I don't know what you're looking for. I ain't got a lot of time on my hands. I'm gonna put you in where you fit in, and then if we get to something great, whatever. But if you call me, my hours is my hours, and I'm consistently telling you I'm not available during these hours. But once again, because they want to lay it on heavy, they already took you on some lavish dates. And now they're like, shoot, baby, how much you going to make today? Oh, you going to make $2,000 today? I give you that. Cancel everybody. It's Big Daddy. I need to be with you. I have. So I guess that would be ignoring boundaries. When I say this is when I'm available, you want to keep trying to inch your way in.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you brought that up because when we think boundaries, we think about space, right? Boundaries is also things that we have to accomplish on an everyday basis. This is what I need to do around this particular time. Allow me to do this, and then I'll get with you when I'm done with this. Mm-hmm. Right? Donna, any stories behind that before? Have that ever happened in some type of arena as far as your boundaries being not listened to?
Yeah. So I was dating this guy, right? I didn't even know that I didn't say we were dating yet, but he love bombed me into a relationship. and I made it clear that, I have children, so I don't really want to bring, men around that's not really going to be, around forever around my children. So I, no dates at my home. But he made it his point where, he wanted to build me a bookshelf. So he got to come over my house to measure, the area of the bookshelf. Then he had to keep coming by to drop off the wood. He was accumulating the wood for the bookshelf.
Right.
It was, I want to come cook for you. So next thing I know, he was damn near living here. And I didn't even say, I don't remember him asking. But it was just slowly, that boundary that I thought I set up front was being love bombed away. And I was just like,
right. What about
he
you?
He had you at bookshelf.
He had me at bookshelf. Because I really need the bookshelf.
Built-in bookshelf?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Find a reason to come over there. You need anything done over there?
You heard her say he started dropping off the materials slowly.
Just let me know when the kids go to sleep. Matter of fact, let me help you tuck them in. But go ahead. When you any boundary stories?
Yes. So I'm very particular about my time because my schedule is extremely busy. And so if you ask me if I want to do something and I say no, then the answer is no. So this particular relationship, the person would go, or he would circumvent me and call my kids. Do y'all want to go do this today? Don't y'all want to have a game night? Don't y'all want, and then so now I got to have a conversation with my children about why I don't want to go to this particular event that's about to be paid for. Why don't I want to go to dinner that he's about to pay for and do all these things? And he would pay. And here I go to this and that. And now I'm in a relationship with this person, and I don't even like you.
All right, put this in. I got one of the other chat queens in here. So we got chat queens and chat kings. So the official chat king is going to be Kevin Noble. He's the first chat king, date night chat king. Date night chat king. I'm going to read this real quick. I don't allow men to see me after 10 p.m. in the early dating phase. Can't see me during the day. Damn show can't see me at night. Those are her boundaries. So, fellas, if any one of y'all is actually not doing that, guess what? Guess what you're doing? Ignore her boundaries. All right. So let's go to the next one. Boom. Reminding you of how good you are together. Reminding you of, quote, baby, we good. We look good together. Just keep reminding you of that. Have y'all ever had that happen to you? Yeah, there it is. Yes, ladder again. You know what? And that's a like you said, through the definition, it's a manipulation tool. Yeah. That's, okay, Wendy, you want to speak on that one?
I mean,
you ever had that happen before?
Yes, just like we're a power couple talking about that.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's it. That's the first one. Go ahead, Wendy. Go ahead. I didn't think about that one. Go ahead.
Things happen. You're so amazing at this, and we do this together. They want you to think that you're finna be Jay-Z and Beyonce or something. And nowhere near. But I mean, that's all I have to say about that. Definitely say that.
Donna.
Oh yeah, my dude was planning a wedding, and so he got his family involved. Like his family was like, "Oh my gosh, like you two make such a great couple. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, the wedding, we're gonna have the wedding here, and oh, I'm gonna do all the food." And like he had the family in on it. That's how bad he was.
Star, you want to speak on that one?
No, that's part of the manipulation tactic, because it's like once you involve the family and especially the kids, in Wendy's situation, Wendy's in the relationship with him and the kids because she feel the need to explain to the kids why she don't want to go. And I don't know how old your kids were at that time, but if they were, at an age to understand, it could have been a teachable moment as a parent. But it's like you in a relationship with them and him, because you got to lay it all out for both of them, and that's crazy. And so now they include the family, so that plays on your heartstrings, and it lays the guilt trip because now you feel like you don't want to let nobody down. Nah, I'm just speaking that. I live for me, not others.
Look, check this out, y'all. Look, check this out. This is a good one. I never thought about this, and I never thought about this right here. Boom. Look at this right here. Love bombers will direct the conversation when things start to feel off, or you've had a bad argument. They will remind you how special your relationship is instead of taking responsibility for their actions or changing their behavior. This is just another tactic to control you.
So is that like makeup sex?
I mean, if you fall for it, yeah. But what I'm saying is, I guess it's like when instead of letting a person allowing you to process the argument, right? They want to play, especially when they mess up. They don't want you to process it, so they stay. Hey, babe, if we just make it through this, and we're gonna be good together. You see what I'm saying? We should never leave this situation. Do you remember how we supposed to be building? You know what I mean? Just paint that picture. Yeah. So this article is more so looking at it from the standpoint of after an argument.
Yeah, so you know what, Star, it's actually going back to sales tactics, because if you think about like in sales, like when you focus on like the benefits and the value adds that that you're getting, so that's what they're doing, right? So it's like when you start to have objections, this might be moving too fast, and then they remind you, what about all the great,
Yeah. Remember we said we were going to be,
there we go.
Jay-Z and Beyonce, Wendy.
Right.
Oh, well, like the perfect family.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's so funny? So far, we just do the 5, and I'll make sure we definitely get through these in a timely manner. But I'm going to say this. The funny thing about it is that, again, it's definitely sales one-on-one. These things are definitely sales one-on-one. And they definitely, again, it's a definitely powerful tool for manipulation. So let's start over for those real quick. They want you to know everything about you right away. That's number 1. They want constant validation. Saying all the right things, number 3. Ignoring your boundaries, 4. And then 5th, reminding you of good you are together. How good you are together. So, all right, number 6. Boom. Never taking responsibility for their previous relationships. Right. And let me tell you what I drew off of that. Okay, so in dating, sometimes relationship stuff come up, right? It's at some point we're gonna talk about relationships in the beginning, right? That's that question y'all always ask in your mind when a guy just says, "My wife this, my girlfriend this, my girlfriend used to do this," and then in your mind you be thinking, "Well, what did you do?" Right? Like, what did you do? Right? And you don't never hear that, right? So they'll say a person that love bomb is gonna paint a picture like they were perfect, right? And they don't really bring up the fact of, okay, I know when there was disorder, there had to be disorder at some point in a relationship. You had to play a part in the disorder somehow. It wasn't one sided, right?
Right.
So what did you do in the part? Even if you think you did something right, it still points back at you. So I want to hear your thoughts on this one, Wendy. Never taking responsibility for previous relationship. Can you see that how that kind of ties into someone that love bombs because they want to paint a certain picture about them?
Absolutely. So that particular relationship where I was talking about the person that was just laid it on thick, like they just painted the picture that their ex was just like this horrible person. Like, I don't speak to her. I don't think she did me. Like he had just been so traumatized by the relationship and how badly he had been treated because he was such a good nerdy guy. Painted the picture like he was such as this quiet little nerdy guy. Like you just felt for him. Like, oh no, poor little tink tink. I'm so sorry that you were just all like that.
Right,
I would never do that to you. Like, I mean,
right.
absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
I got a couple of relationships.
Golly. Golly, all the times y'all, hey, look, all the times the bombs is dropping on you, down, that you don't even know. You just thinking it's just some basic stuff, right? And again, I think that ties into making me look like there's no flaws in me, right? I'm the perfect guy for you, baby. I ain't gonna never let you down,
But
right?
I can tell you now, in my first marriage, I can tell you what I did wrong. I mean, like, I have to be honest. I have to be, and it's not for you. It's for me, for my mental health, for me to be the whole and best person I can be. I've got to acknowledge where I've made mistakes so I don't make those again.
Hey, okay. So okay, Star. This is a direct question to you because I think you're gonna land this one pretty good. All right, so this is your moment. This is your PSA moment, right? This is your PSA moment, and I want you to tell the guys right out there, right? This is Star's moment, right? How important that is to at least the responsibility factor to take responsibility. How does that look in the eye of a woman when a man takes responsibility?
So if we're having a discussion on, I'm getting to know you. So a question I may ask, how did you fail in previous relationships? But all you have to say is what the other person did. So you were never in the wrong. For me, that doesn't work. There's two sides to every story. Something happened and it takes two, right? Even if whatever. So to answer your question, it looks very good in my eyes. If you could just come straight, keep it 1,000. What'd you do? Why'd you do it? Because it's going to help me learn your character. It's not a ding against you. You know what I mean? Because it's actually, a brownie point for you to be able to keep it a stack and admit your faults. Because I'm looking for someone that knows how to communicate, who knows how to take constructive criticism, how to internalize self in order for self, development and improvement. So it's necessary.
Okay.
So it's going to look good for him to just keep it real.
All right, Donna, add to that a little bit on how does a woman feel when the guys just keep it real from that, take responsibility?
Yeah, I would say for me, because I feel like I'm so transparent, I just automatically used to assume that other people are as well, and that was the wrong assumption. But if you're going to be transparent about your past relationships, to me, what that says is that you learn from them. Perhaps you're not going to make those same mistakes with me. So even if you did cheat, or you lied about a couple things, or some things happen in that relationship that you're not proud of, To me, if you are taking accountability for those things, I would have a better feeling that you have learned and will not continue in this
Yeah,
space.
yeah. Because I've heard a woman say it's nothing more sexy than the man that just owns up to his shit. I've heard it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Absolutely. Be a
I've heard
stand-up
that.
man.
All right, number 7, lashing out when criticized.
Jesus.
Don't want to be called out on their shit, basically.
Yeah, this sounds like the narcissist side of love bombing.
I feel like every point that Marq has brought up, it's like I'm like all of these is describing a narcissist to a T, damn near.
To the T. To the T. And the part of being a narcissist is being a manipulator, which is a person that. So I guess we would probably say that's almost like the slang for a narcissist, right? Almost like the slang word for love bombing, right? It's not an official. It's not an official medical term.
What they call it, Urban Dictionary.
Urban Dictionary.
It's
right?
almost like
the Urban Dictionary. Right. So this is almost defining a narcissist, y'all. Anytime somebody don't really, you know how now by the time we finish, I feel that no one's gonna have not excuse to not to see what some certain signs are, right?
Yeah.
Instead of coming up with their own definition, right? They're gonna be able to truly identify what they mean because the word is thrown around so much now. When do you want to touch that for us a second? Have you ever experienced like calling somebody on their shit and they just be
Yes, because they do that because that's a distraction. That's a diversionary tactic, right? So if I lash out, if you bring up something, then that's going to make me afraid to bring it up. So what I want you to do is not ever bring up anything or call me out of my ish. So if I act the fool, then that's part of that manipulation. And I absolutely, have dealt with that. Like, I'm about to date myself, like the robot on Lost in Space, like Danger, like they just flailing their arms, I remember in this other relationship, the guy that would call my kids, I remember crying. Like I had to talk to myself and say, Wendy, you're not married to this person. You do not have to be in this relationship. Like I'm in tears crying to myself because I'm walking on eggshells in this relationship because you're doing things that go against everything that I want for myself. But I know I can't talk to you about it because it's about to be this big blowout argument. And I just had to remind myself, this doesn't have to be your life, boo. You're not married to this person. Get the hell out.
Facts. Anybody else want to touch that?
Well, Wendy, what you just described to a T was what we talked about in the beginning, the manipulation piece with the intention of controlling your mindset and your actions. So when they blow up, you might have been ready to say something, but now you walking on eggshells. You just want to keep the peace. So you don't even want to say nothing. So now you being quiet and just accepting everything that nigga throw at you. So it's like, he's got your mind.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
Marq,
almost.
This is unfolding. This is great. This is great.
Right. So look. So check this out. And I'm gonna go a little bit of one layer to that too. Add a layer, right? The layer I'm gonna add is it's like I'm trying to present to you that I am the man for you. You found a kink in my armor, and now I'm pissed at you for finding the kink.
That's the part.
Damn. That's that pretty much almost sums that up to a point where I may want a suggestion about what I see that I didn't like. You mad at me because you're not going to be able to present that you're this 100% genuine guy like you trying to present, right? Man, facts. So, okay, number 8. Over the top expensive gifts. I had to put this one in here, right? I had to put this one in here because I know y'all like nice things, right? Speaking for me, I know you guys like nice things, but I think in the beginning, simple nice things are better than these large things, right? You got to almost look at it as a flag. And I know that diamond or whatever he got you on that first week, right? And you may think you look good in it. That's a flag. That's a freaking flag. What you think about that, Don? What do you think about that? I can't hear you.
Donna, you on mute.
You on mute.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so for me, it wasn't exactly like expensive gifts. It was like expensive dates. So like our
Okay.
first date, like I want to say that bill had to be $500-600.
God dang.
First date, you ain't never seen me in person, but you spent that much money on a date. And then every date after that, we went out at least twice a week. Every day after that was just as expensive. I got flowers brought to my job every week. Um, but what I realized is he could spend all his money on gifts and dinner and flowers because he didn't have to pay any bills because he didn't have a house. He was trying to move in with me eventually.
Bombing you. Just bombing
Right.
you.
So when he got paid, he
Yeah.
was like, that's
Right.
all in that investment account, that DZ investment account. And then all of a sudden it was like, once I figured it out,
Present another picture that ain't real. Right? Making you think one way, I'm gonna buy you these big things, right? These big gifts, especially beginning. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all in the secret too. Small ladies out, I'm gonna let you in the secret. One of the things we valued most of is our money, right? So if we give our money too fast and these big expensive gifts, I'm not saying that he's a love bomber, but again, these are flags. Pay the hell attention. That's all I'm saying, right? That's all I'm saying. Pay attention because we value our money so much. We really don't want to let it go like y'all think we want to do, unless we want to spend it on y'all. You know what I mean? And
right.
you know, because it's a lot of people, right? that's buying things and living beyond their means, but they're gonna try to paint a picture like that to possibly find somebody they can move in with. No, what is in Donna's case? So go ahead, Wendy. Go ahead. Have you ever had someone just throw some on you? And what was that gift? What was that gift? Was it a gift or a date? Hers was a big date.
Okay, so so at this point I'm talking about two different people, right? So the dude
This
kids.
Wendy got a story.
Mind you, I have Star and LaDonna, I have 3 children. And so this man had 2 kids. So you talking about 7 people off the rip. And you're paying for everything. So that's expensive. And I know that. So then I've got that in my mind, and that's making me feel some type of way every time you do it, right? I'm like, wow, you taking all of us out. We all going to night Fright Fest. We all going to the movies and to dinner. We all so like that was a part that was definitely controlling. But then old boy who was like want to do stuff for show, like, okay, so I'm out with my friends, my gym friends, my crew. And so you want to send stuff where I'm at. So you're going to have food Uber to me where I'm at to the place so that my people can see that this came as, so it might not have been expensive, but it was a little, and I'm talking about this was in the very beginning. So I'm in a space with my friend. And here comes the Uber driver or the saying, I have a delivery for Wendy. That should have been a red flag up front.
Yeah. Go ahead, Stars. Want to speak on that?
I'm just loving the connections that I'm making, you know, from number one until now. I mean, once again, like Wendy just said, what is that? What do we relate that one to? The bringing other people into the relationship. So now he putting other folks on the yes ladder. Ooh, girl, he's sending you lunch. DoorDash.
So watch this. I'm gonna read this right because this is a twist to that. Instead of 1 bouquet of roses, they send 6. They give you fancy jewelry. Hold on, give you fancy jewelry within the first few weeks. Maybe you commented on your laptop having issues and they purchase you a new one. Gift bombing may seem kind, but it can feel excessive and awkward. Gifts can be act of love, but they also can be exploitative and emotionally manipulative. On a core level, love bombers hope their recipients will feel indebted to their presence. As a result, they will have more power and control in the relationship. You see that key part right here? It says they will feel it. You will make you. They'll do it so, and you'll buy these things, and you'll receive these things, and in their mind, it's like a debt.
Yeah, exploiting your emotions.
Look
Wow.
at look.
Oh, you got one on your wrist?
Star, I have the Pandora bracelet on right now. Oh my God, when he said that, I was like, I have on. I
I got
can't.
the cotton mouth tonight. Go ahead.
I
Let's
don't
move
have
to the
the
next one.
words. I
Let's move
have
to the
no
next
words.
one. All right, over the top expensive gifts. Number 9, boom. Intense cleanliness. I think I kind of tapped on that. Right? Don't ever want to go. Don't want to give you your space. You know, we all need our break, especially in the beginning. We don't know you like that. We don't need to be spending too much time to you. But I want to touch this comment right here. Can love bombing last more than the beginning? Yes, it's a form of manipulation. In the time where even we may be good, they can just throw some things on you to throw off what the problem is. It's a way to fuck your mind up. You know what I mean? Just to get you off what the problem is, right?
Yeah.
So we have a problem here, but I'm gonna do things to distract you, right? And I'm talking about in the relationship too. So love bombing can happen then. So I'm gonna have things. I'm gonna have things to throw you off. I'm gonna give you a gift just to kind of get you out of the way. I'm gonna keep reminding you how well the relationship and how good we are together. That was one. You know what I'm saying? So those things can happen doing that. What you think about that, Star? In the
Okay, I'm
relationship.
glad. I wanted to ask a question. I was gonna say, in my definition in the beginning, I was saying they do all these things to woo you over, then they pull the rug. So in my mind, I thought love bombing was the manipulation tactic, and maybe they got a goal in mind. Once they hit it, they out, or when they get bored, they out, or when I don't know, like. But now you just mentioned that love bombing can happen in the middle of the relationship. So now you peeped something. So when is it? I don't want
When
to
is
say
it
when is
what?
it over, but
Okay,
I would say
I thought it was a thing. So help me out.
go ahead. Go ahead. I want to hear what Donald. Donald, go ahead.
Yeah.
yeah.
Say.
So I can see this happening in a relationship when, let's just say, the relationship is close to ending, right? Something has happened and the person may feel that they might be on their way out. This is the way that they can stay longer, or this is like Mark said, get you past whatever this problem is by showering you with love and gifts and time. And now I'm listening to you now, like I don't want to let you out of my sight. Now I'm buying you expensive gifts.
Cleanliness, right?
Now that the manipulation is starting over. So it's a manipulative tactic that really is more often used in the beginning, but it can be used throughout, especially if you missed it in the beginning, right? And now you're in a relationship with this person
A
and you start
narcissist.
to unveil narcissists. They start to unveil their flaws that you probably would have ran from if you saw in the beginning. So guess what? They got to continue the cycle to get you to, ignore those flags that are now coming out. That's how it can happen.
What you think about that, Star?
This person sounds like they're way more energy than they deserve to me. And the showering with gifts, like, to each their own. Everybody has their button that you can push where they pop out the box and get fucking excited. I don't get excited with gifts. Fuck the flowers, they're gonna die, and who gonna water them? I'm busy.
Right.
Like, don't take me to the movies. I'm gonna be asleep. And I'm not saying that I'm not grateful for these things, but hit me with some real shit. Like, all this money you're spending, like, hey, what type of investments are we making? Because, I'm a real estate investor on the side as an entrepreneur. I need my retirement. Come on, baby. What you got on this down payment for this next multiplex I'm buying? Like,
There we
I don't need a
go.
bag. I don't want a car. I don't want your
Right.
expensive dates. I'm not hungry. I ate already. Plus, I can stand and lose a few pounds. Like, you got to also
But
know what you're dealing with. But I guess, Wendy, when we was talking about getting all that info in the beginning, some people be like, ooh, you just not approachable. I'm approachable. I just don't take shit. I'm
Right.
super nice, and I'm gonna listen to everything, and I'm gonna be excited about everything. but don't think
Yeah.
that you're putting the wool over my eyes. So, that's where I'm going with that.
Fellas,
But you
y'all
know
in
what?
trouble with Star.
But
Go
you know
ahead.
what, Star? So, like, do you know what your love language is? What's
Words of
your
Yes,
primary
affirmation.
love language?
I love physical touch and acts of kindness.
Okay. So your love bomber would know that you love acts of service, right? So rather
Mhm.
than buying you expensive gifts, he's making sure your car, your truck is washed. He's, doing all the deliveries for Halo. He's coming and fixing things in Halo. He's building you a shelf for all of your products. He's doing those things, right? My love bomber would know that I love words of affirmation and quality time. So he's every day he's telling me how beautiful I am and how great
Mhm.
I am. And he's planning these expensive dates because I like the quality time and I want to do things. And he's coming to my son's basketball game. He's coming to my job for walks after work because he has learned that that's my love language. So whatever it is, that's what they're going to focus on for you.
Wendy, go ahead and touch on that. There's something you want to say something about that one?
I agree with Donna. Like that, what she said. I'm not gonna add anything to it. It was good.
Okay. All right. So look. So back to this one right here because I wanted to answer that question that was in the chat and I appreciate it, Keisha. That was in the chat about could it last throughout the relationship. That was a great way to really because honestly I never really thought about it. I've thought about it from the only on the beginning stages, but it can happen in a relationship.
That I
But
agree.
right. So this one right here, real quick, I'm gonna read over this particular, which is interesting too as well. The interesting part about this is a common love bombing red flag is wanting to spend every moment with you. They text or call you nonstop. They don't know how to entertain themselves when you're gone. As a result, they clingy and endlessly demand your time and attention. Clinginess often comes from profound insecurity and can manifest in love bombing. The love bomber wants you to be thinking of them all the time, even if they physically be with you. They want to ensure you have their attention. Now, that's a whole nother twist on that one.
That's too much work.
That's
Yeah.
right. Go find somebody else.
Yeah.
Number 10. Number 10, go find somebody else. Boom. Overwhelming compliments and attention. We talk about that one. Too many
Yeah.
compliments, right? We kind of touched that a little bit. That's in the relationship too, then, right? Complimenting
Yeah.
you on everything, you know what I mean? Especially in the beginning. So yeah, especially in the beginning. Even though I know, because guess what, ladies, we know y'all like compliments. Ooh, that dress look good on you, right? Like that's automatically we know y'all like that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when that shower starts coming of over compliments, you on the road, and you're probably dealing with someone that is, is a love bomber, right? When do you want to speak on that? I know Wendy got a story on this one. Go ahead,
I
story.
so that's when that's where I started to realize that relationship that was a red flag because the compliments were always in comparison to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you do that better than that. And you did this person and the people you're trying to pit me against are my friends are my so now are you trying to drive a wedge between people that are close to me. You would do better over here with me. I'm gonna say this, and Mark is gonna look straight ahead. He's not gonna laugh. He's not gonna fall out of his chair. You should you should be with this trainer or that trainer. You should come over here and do X, Y, and Z. So yes, absolutely. That's when it became a red flag for me because you're trying to puff me up, but I hear in your puffing up that you have an agenda
Don't
and
use Puffy on here. Go ahead.
you're trying to cause a wedge.
Don't start no ish, Mark.
You know, you're trying to cause a wedge between me and the people that I'm close to. In other words, you're trying to isolate me from the people in my circle.
Right,
And
right.
and I called bullshit. Sorry to curse.
And guess what? So I'm gonna tie that in since you did the bonus one. Immense jealousy when you were with someone else or personal time. I put the bonus. That was the bonus one in there.
Was absolutely jealous of a particular person. I'm like, I don't understand. I got to see them every single morning. Like, I don't understand. And all of that became very clear.
Go ahead, Star. You
Yeah, but
clapped
you
your
know how
hands.
men feel
I
about
mean,
trainers.
oh my gosh. I know I can't. What you say, LaDonna?
This is what
I was
men
telling
feel
women,
about train.
you know how men feel about male trainers.
Hell yeah, you gonna get you a female trainer.
The
Go ahead, Star. You want to say something on that one?
Um,
The personal
no,
time.
no.
Okay. All right. So, that's look. That was a 10 right there. So let me start from the top again for people again that were late to church. All right, and I will be actually doing. This will go up shortly. Therefore, after this stream ends, right? So basically, here we go. These are some of the quotes. You're my soulmate. You're the perfect man or woman. See, we put man or woman in there. For this case, y'all think we bashing men or women. Here we go. Man and woman. You're soulmates. You complete me. I've never met anyone like you. I will never meet anyone like you again. Number one, they want to know everything about you right away. They want constant validation, saying all the right things, ignore your boundaries, remembering you of how good you are together, never taking responsibility for previous relationships, lashing out when criticized, over the top expensive gifts, intense clinginess, overwhelming compliments and attention, and the bonus, immense jealousy when you're with someone else or personal time. That's almost like it falls into the line of clinginess to me. So, Donna, what are your thoughts on that list, and what have you probably learned or looked more into through that journey?
I would say I never really thought until we had this conversation about the love bombing happening within the relationship, but you know that as we talk through it, I could definitely see that, and I think we sometimes we use another term for that. It's called gaslighting.
Right.
And I feel like let's
Yeah.
do another top 10 on gaslighting, and we'll probably see some similar some similar items. But yeah, I think that again, like all of these things individually could be perfectly normal. You know, this could just be who this person is. But all together, those attendants should be going up. It should be
Right.
like, you should be like, wait a minute,
Right.
especially if it's a short period of time. I'm talking like months of you know, in the beginning, just meeting this person and like all these things. They're doing all these things and they can't, like after month 3, they cannot consistently keep it up.
Girl,
Right.
This is not who they are. This is an act.
Snack. So I'm gonna read this real quick before I go around because I want to add this one in. Khalees said this. This is a good one to add into. Have you mentioned without withholding affection, blaming it on how they were raised, and was not shown love. It gives the excuse of ration their affection towards you.
that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's why I put it up because even when you know someone is very affectionate, and then you turn around and withhold it from them, that's a manipulation move
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. Very narcissistic.
That in sales, that's called what, y'all? The takeaway.
Yeah.
Right? That's sales 101, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You act like it don't matter if you get my business or not.
That's right.
But in your mind, you like, damn, I need
Please
this
buy,
right
please
here.
buy.
Go ahead, Star. Touch on as far as what have you learned. What and not even just what you learned, it's things that can add to doing this session.
One of the things that I want to say is that it's important for us to all understand the 10 things that you just raised. And I want to say, I love your list. I don't know if anybody else, I was trying to scan the comments, have shared anything on their list, but this list is keen. I think it's key and we should just learn from it. I don't know. It just makes sense and brings things together. And y'all don't go out trying to put people in a box just because you see number 1 or number 2, Give
Right.
people
Thank
a
you.
chance. You might see those red flags. Put it in the hidey holes of your mind.
There you go.
Put your common sense filter on. Don't be a basher. Don't be a hater. Don't be bitter. If you need counseling and you still broken, go get that before you keep on dating. But these top 10 things is just used as a tool,
That's
if
a
you
tool.
will, and just stack it. But give a person a chance. Just because you see one, don't mean he's love bombing me. He or she.
Right. Right.
Thank you
Right.
for sharing, Mark. I think this was a great list. I got a lot out of it.
All right. Go ahead, Wendy. What have you added to, learned, or something you want to share with everybody? Or one on the list that I didn't put. What about
No,
that?
everything that we've talked about tonight was excellent. I think that if anybody that's in the comments or watches this later and you recognize that these are some things that have happened to you, it's a great place for you to start your healing journey as a person who is an advocate for people dealing with trauma, grief, and other mental health issues. You can't be any good for anybody else unless you're good for yourself. So these are those things that for you to identify and say, you know what, I need to. If these things have happened to you, as I recognize and could talk about it jokingly, because I've done the work since, right, to acknowledge and recognize and see that I was in a place that I was allowing those things to happen, and that's where you have to start. Like if these things have happened to you, the place to look is where am I and where was I that I allowed this kind of person to do these things in my life. I think that's a great place to be. Um, um, as Star talked about, therapy and mental health healing is an excellent thing. And I appreciate being here. Thank you for having me. This was a great conversation.
All right, and I definitely appreciate you guys' time. So I'm gonna say this.
Okay.
What
And
I
I
what
have one
I
more too.
go ahead, Donna. What you say?
I just wanted to say to the fellas, please don't feel like we don't appreciate some of these things in moderation and in the right
Right.
time and the right phase of the relationship. So don't think that we just, we don't want gifts and we don't, want the attention, but it's, in moderation and at the right
Definitely
stage
want.
of the relationship.
Right. Because again, and I think that's important to know on that end and to add is because again, it goes back to the security factor, especially if women are dating. Believe me, they've dated someone before you, and you never know what their experience is, right? So what you don't want to do is you want to try to slow down, shit, you know. And then I'll say for the women, if you feel like you're a rush, understand. And again, if you feel like you're a rush, 9 times out of 10, there is an agenda. Donna has given a great example of someone that has pretty much love bombed her and tried to move in, right? Like each, so especially in the beginning, it's very important just to know who you are first, right? Let's start with accountability again, right? So hold yourself to be accountable for where you are in your spirit and in your mind, right? Before you step out there,
Right.
right? Because if some of these things happen, and yeah, you can get mad at the person, but get mad at yourself. Get mad at yourself, right? Because think back if you were ever in one of these situations. Was I in my right mind? Was I ready to date? Am I healed? Do I need to get more help? If you can answer those questions, well, he a no good nigga then. All right, they all of them take out. You good, and vice versa for the fellas too, right? Because fellas can sometimes feel in a space where I'm gonna give you one for the fellas. Then just to say this, sometimes in a lot of times where love bombing can occur in men, where you can be love bombed is when you get a certain age in life or you have children, right? And then you say, "Well, I ain't been married." Or I haven't had any children. So you rush the process on what you need to be doing. So what you do is you step into a situation from a woman that may try to manipulate you, and you're being love bombed because you in your
You end
mind
up
you
on
ain't
sugar
already
daddy status, right?
right sugar daddy status or just dealing with the wrong person, right? Just having it's
Yeah.
the objective is not to even try to be around in your circumference, right?
Correct.
Look, this earth, we're only here for a few more seconds, right? Because it's already what? April? So you got to make the best of it, right? So to make the best of it is make sure that you're the best you. How about that?
Yes.
Mark, I have a question for you. Can we
What's
turn
that?
the table?
I don't
Have
turn
you
it.
ever been love bombed?
Oh, come on, Star. I love it.
Oh,
Have you been love
Yes,
bombed?
yes, I have. Yes, I have been in a situation where I've been love bombed and jumped into a relationship where someone tried to prove that they were even when I felt because I was I can okay, let me say this. I was love bombed. I'm gonna start with me. I was love bombed for me was at a time of me being a single father, right?
Vulnerable.
I had two guys, two young men at the time, right? And I'm trying to tread lightly, but I'll say this. So I'll say this. So and never been married. So whatever situation came in front of me at that time, I felt like it was right for me. I saw some manipulation tactics that were actually went on and made me say, you know what, let me commit to this situation because I was in a bad space. I was looking at myself as being out of all my brothers, the one not being married, except my youngest brother, of course, because he was younger at the time. But all my other brothers being married, right? So that plays in the psyche of me, right? And so then I have these young men, right? And then I have never been married, right? And so now I'm like not even seeing things clearly. And that particular situation was definitely I was being love bombed, and I'm gonna blame myself for it. Is what I'm doing.
Did you know at the time or after hindsight?
Hindsight, because I wasn't clear. It was cloudy for me. You see what I'm saying? I had clouded judgment, as they say,
Because you were vulnerable.
because of my space
Single dad.
as a single dad.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Never been married. You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
So it can for a man that can happen on that stage for a man and for me.
yeah,
So.
I feel that.
Any other ladies got questions for the only man in this room?
we're sorry you were love bombed, Mark.
No, we all been love bombed. Everybody was like this the whole time.
It's like sad when it happens to a man.
Bobblehead, it was bobblehead
Nah.
circus in this month.
It's never sad happening, man, because we have feelings too. We ain't all hard. Now I don't give a damn how hard you think it. Even the hardest dude, a street dude, is soft when it comes to a woman. You know, some gangsters when it comes to their wife will beat them over there, and what they'll do, they'll fold. Right? So I don't care how hard the dude try to act. We got feelings.
Right.
You know what I mean? So other than that,
Can that be a topic one day, Mark? Can we talk about
men have feelings.
men being abused?
Right.
Because you just said the women beating them over the head, and I'm hearing that more and more. I think we need our brothers to come forth.
In a safe space, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's a safe space, and then I know on LaDonna's last week we talked about the black men not having as much equally yoked
You know what?
support.
And guess what? That's a great idea, but I'm gonna make sure I lay some groundwork on something like that because what happens is we have to have the right type of men to do that because sometimes some men can't handle that conversation because then it becomes a woman. Then because it becomes a woman bashing session. You see what I'm saying? That's what you're hearing now. That's what you're hearing now. You see what I'm saying? A bunch of emotional men talking about women this and what women need to be doing and I'm that and this. You know what I'm saying? That's an emotional guy.
Yeah,
so
and I'm
you know,
for the people. And last week when we were asking people, the men, where do they go for help? Remember, where do you go for guidance? And y'all mentioned that the men don't have the support that the women do in terms of therapy and stuff. So I was hoping that we could put a topic like that out.
Yeah, we can. I definitely have to figure out the right type of dudes that have that demeanor that we can have that real conversation. I have a couple off my mind. Yeah, because I don't need nobody to use that reverse card, like Uno. You know what I mean? That's the reverse card, right? They throw the reverse card out.
Well, I think if we stick to not generalizing things, but sharing your experience. Like, hey, like I went through this relationship where my woman was X, Y, and Z. Not, black women so mean.
But
know,
it usually starts there though. It usually starts from the experience. That's the
Yeah.
only thing about it.
yeah.
It's a trigger. That's
And then
our
the
trigger.
trigger. As soon
I
as
mean,
they get
Right.
that trigger, it
Right.
might
And
be
then it
like,
just start
hey,
going.
y'all, we need to come with that heart. Sorry.
I know some
Yeah.
level headed brothers though.
oh,
We'll definitely do that. We'll call that we'll call it something like safe space or something like that. And
yeah.
we'll definitely do that and definitely bring you in there, Star, because I know you're gonna. You know what? I'm gonna bring all three of y'all back. I'm figure it out. I gotta figure out the two. You know what? I'm gonna make it even. So I'm gonna bring 2 guys and 3 girls.
It's just that black woman, black man thing. Like, if your experience is that the predominant people that you've dated were black men, then that's your experience. So you can't definitively say black men X, Y, and Z. If
Right.
if you dated black women, then that's your experience. You see what I'm saying? Like, so then you can't then characterize it and say black women do X, Y, and Z. That's who you've dated.
This is
I
who you dated,
Like,
right?
Right. It's
that,
that
Yeah.
subset of
say
Perspective.
that the experience that I've had with women is, or the experience that I've had with the men that I've dated is
Okay.
you
So,
got that characteristic out.
okay.
That's where you've been.
Okay, this is a good time for me to say this because me and Donna actually had this conversation, right? Understand this, right? Men and women communicate so different, right? You guys see the way you just said women, when they communicate things, when we have these conversations, yes, women are going to say, well, my friend, or I don't so and so, right? That's the most common reaction I get when on these platforms, right? I can throw some out. Well, not my friends or not me, right? Okay, that's how you guys see things from a personal standpoint. Men see things from a perspective broad, right? So when we talk, we're gonna talk broad, right? And a lot of times that broadness can seem all, right? So that's where the communication has to come in, where men have to really try to use certain words to separate. But when men say that, for the most part, because remember, we're supposed to be very instinctive hunters, etc. So when we're planning things out, we're gonna look at it this way, right? That's a hunter's mentality. When you in the woods, right, you have to survey everything and take everything into consideration. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why we may relay it out in our mouths, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But what I've learned how to do, and the only reason why I know how to do this, because I've been doing this, right? Again, we have to learn how to just communicate. That's all it is. I don't think sometimes it comes from a bad space. My only thing is if it keeps coming, but you don't address the other side.
Yeah. I just think when you have those conversations, if you stipulate a common form of communication, this is how we're going to communicate these things
Right.
in this particular conversation.
And bring balance.
Yeah, it's like when you're in a meeting, you're going to set the norms.
Right, right. Because I always say this. I say this, and this, I'll say this. I know there's no absolutes in life, but if most people took the accountability route, the dating stuff will go away. That's the problem.
Amen to that.
Each person individually has to say, "I'm this way," right, and be real with themselves.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? That would turn it.
Yeah.
Because we can't, because it's hard, because our communication styles, right? Remember, I just gave you an example of communication styles, right? We may have good intentions or we may not have good intentions, but you're not going to understand it because the communication levels is different. You know what I'm saying? And I think for the most part, even the ones that's acting like this, they have good intentions. They're just emotional.
Yeah.
You got to think about it, right? They're emotional. I'm going to say this again. And I think, Donna, you heard me say this. And I'm going to say this before I close out. I'm going to definitely say this. Again, all the women out there, realize this, and I said this before. When you're on the internet and you see these talking point guys, right? Whoever they are, I'm not calling anyone specific, right? But the talking point guys are guys that seem like they're hammering like this, right? And women, right? Understand that more so for the men, they're frustrated because they don't know how to communicate to women. Remember, those are the dudes who, for the most part, are always in their books. never had communication with women. In order for us to learn y'all, we have to spend time with y'all, right? So if we don't spend time with y'all within the first 22 years of our life because we were nerds, right? When we start feeling a certain kind of way, we don't know how to communicate with you, and that can be frustrating, right?
Yeah.
So what you're hearing is frustration and don't know how to communicate. And the nerds. Revenge of the Nerds is real, okay? All right? So I'm going to say this. With me saying this, when y'all hear that, understanding what you're hearing, why get upset about something that somebody else can't do? That's to the women. I can't say about that one, get it? With that, in closing, I want y'all to stay. I'm going to put y'all to the back real quick. Don't go nowhere. All right? But I'm going to go ahead and say, anybody want to say anything there? Anybody there real quick? Anything they're doing special they want to push? They want to direct somebody to? Starting with Donna. Go ahead, Don. Tell them about tomorrow. We can go ahead. For those who late
tomorrow we are starting our 3-part series on the war on Black love, starting the conversation with the men. And we're going to talk about it from a historical perspective, what has happened to Black people in this country that has, diluted our idea of marriage, our ability to, build strong families, how it's affecting our communities, and how we can fix it. Like, what can we do? What can the men do? The ladies, we're going to get together on Sunday. We're going to talk. Each group is going to have their own accountability sessions. It's not going to be the men pointing fingers at, well, if the women just stop doing this. And no, absolutely not. That's not what we're doing here. Everyone's going to take accountability for their part in dividing the Black family. And we're going to work on solutions together to bring us back together. So that's
I will be the bailiff. I'm very neutral.
You'll be the bailiff.
I'm gonna be the damn bailiff. I'm gonna have my gun on the side right there.
Yeah. So as soon as women start coming up in the conversation, with the men, we're gonna turn it right back to them. Because I think it was like the Honorable Louis Farrakhan said, every no good woman was made that way by a no good man.
Oh, man.
Church.
Wow, that'll walk.
Yeah.
So where you go pointing your fingers at her and what she's doing wrong.
In the immortal words of Erykah Badu, he is the sun and I am the moon. I am a reflection of him.
Hey.
Just like the moon. So go ahead, Star.
Well,
anything you want to say?
No, nothing that I can add. Yeah.
Anything you want to direct them toward that you're doing personally? This is a good way to plug what you're doing. People are actually buy stuff from you if you got something to sell.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I always say be intentional about bringing your best self to a relationship. If it's mental, spiritual, traumatic backgrounds, whatever it is, what I do is physically on the surface, but let's heal our inner. Let's heal our mind. Let's heal our souls. But, if you're ready for that external facelift, Halo Studio Inc., we're the plug. We got you, both men and women. Come and get your personal luxury experience on.
Right. All right. I don't know what we got going on over here. All right. So, Wendy, what you got going on, Wendy? I don't know what we got going on.
You heard me. You definitely heard me talk a little bit about my story, so you can definitely learn all about it in my second book, Toxic Syndrome: Breaking Free from a.
Say it again. You went out. Say it one more time.
I said you can always learn about my story or from my second book, Side Chick Syndrome: Breaking Free from a Second Class Mentality. You can find it on Amazon or my website, wendyrtorres.com. So you can always do that. What I didn't talk about at the beginning is I am ordained and licensed minister, and I am one of the writers of the protests here in Atlanta for Palestine. So if you're into activism, you can follow me on Facebook or Instagram, and you can see what we're doing in the city of Atlanta. We've done so all the things that you're seeing happening in Atlanta. I'm a part of that planning group. So if that's something that you're into, you can follow me there, and you can make sure that your tax dollars are not being used for genocide and the murder of other minorities. But again, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, go to my website, Wendy R. Torres. There's a couple of books there, and see what we're up to.
All right. All right, ladies, I'm going to pull y'all to the back. Hold on for 1 second. Let me go ahead and close out real quick. All right. All right, so, all right. Yeah, that's a great show. Great list. You know, top 10, we do this every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, 8:30. 8:30. Okay. Every Wednesday, 8:30. Marq's top 10. Also, if you want to come on the show, let me know. Hit me in the inbox. I'll pull you up. You don't have to be an expert or whatever, right? If you have an opinion, we respect your opinion here. So if you ever want to come on the show, hit me up. Also, subscribe to YouTube, Date Night Online on the YouTube. Tomorrow, tune in tomorrow. We'll have a banger tomorrow. It's gonna be me and two other guys. Miss Donna on her platform, Smart Love, and we're gonna have an accountability session tomorrow. So, other than that, I do appreciate your time, and we will see you tomorrow at 8:30.